we got the SPY up, the S&P 500 on my screen, and the market's just been heavy. You know, we have a lot of headwinds, a lot of bad news coming to the market. Everyone's scared of the rate rising environment. Right now, just from a pure price action standpoint, the SPY, the S&P 500, seems pretty poised to test these 2022 lows down at the 420 support level around here. You know, you look at every major sector; they're all looking pretty similar in this regard. Where you know, we got a little mini bounce last week, and then we just started selling off pretty viciously. So you know, markets are heavy. You know, high cash levels are definitely still recommended. This is definitely more of a fast traders market. I think the only people really making money in this market is if you're to long side, if you're scalping, or if you predominantly be going short this year. You know, that's just the price action we've been getting. But you know, it's really as simple as that. Markets are very heavy. We got a lot of headlines going against us right now. And we, you know, when we have such a huge support area so close, it almost seems like we have to touch that area before either a bounce or we'll see what happens from there. What are your thoughts around this area, Ben?
Yes, I mean, the one sector that is the only one, at least in my opinion, that's kind of setting up in the short term is the consumer staples. VDC is a simple example. If you think of stocks like last week you mentioned, you know, Altria, MO, Philip Morris, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Procter & Gamble. Stocks like those has been the one sector, other than really energy, that's been pretty strong or somewhat strong relative to the other sectors. So that'd be the one that if I was going to focus on any type of short-term trading in the next week or so, it'd be focusing on those consumer staples that really haven't gotten too banged up. Where virtually every other sector, they pretty much all look the same as basically the S&P, where we're seeing that H pattern coming down into lows. And you can pull up any other sector, mid cap, small cap, large cap, or even individual sectors. They're all kind of following that same Hing over pattern. Some are farther ahead, like the SPY is basically kind of one more day away from that H pattern, where like materials is still in that upper end of that the curve part of that H. So some are kind of playing catch up, some are kind of ahead of the game, and we're pretty much just following kind of the broader markets to dictate where we see that going. And usually if you just draw out how that pattern ends, if you're just drawing with your finger, you're ending up lower. It's not like you're not expecting that to be a bullish pattern. So stepping out of the way and letting the market or the participants that are fearful with this headline news, it's like just let them be fearful and just kind of board the train when everyone gets off it and thinks the market's gonna come crashing lower.
Definitely with you there, and I think you made a good point with consumer staples, and the reason they've been so strong is we've seen a flight away from anything growth. And if you look under the hood of the consumer staples, these stocks have great valuations, low PE ratios, all of these things that aren't really, they don't really matter when the market's trending higher and anything risk on is just flying. Now we're seeing that flight to stocks with decent valuation. So consumer staples, that makes perfect sense for this environment.
Yeah, and even on like a because you and I, we can kind of fall into the jargon a little bit since we do this all day long. But for like in a more simple sense, like with consumer staples, it's you're gonna still buy toothpaste if you smoke cigarettes. Exactly. You're gonna still, even though you're not gonna really change
cigarettes.
Cigarettes, or I guess vapes. I don't know. You tell me what you're puffing on.
But MO is puffing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But those are the things that, regardless of what's going on in the economy or whatever the fearful headline is going to be, that's a sector of things that you're going to use no matter what. It's not like you're not going to buy a Peloton bike or buy one because of what's going on, where you're going to buy the toothpaste, you're going to buy the soda, no matter what. So that's just kind of a simpler...
Cigarettes.
Yeah, or I guess vape pens, whatever's hip these days. But what do you want to...
God, you sound so fucking old.